Hey guys, so tomorrow we are getting some amazing banners, and I figured I would do a Should You Summon. I forgot to do one last week, but we don't talk about that. It's currently 6 a.m. by the time it's recording, so if I'm low energy or exhausted or a bit quiet, that's why. There's other people sleeping and I don't want to wake them up. And also, I'm tired as hell, so make sure to like and subscribe for Tired Destined. It would help a lot. Anyways, let's get into it. These are some very good banners, but you might not even want to pull on some of them. Though I will just straight up say you have to pull an Elowyn if you don't have her. But of course, I will elaborate on that in as well. So let's just quickly get into it. As always, what I'm going to say on the normal 2x events are, unless you're early game, like your first month playing, or even just like around that kind of time frame, and you really just want quantity over quality, I would say this is worth it. Otherwise, it is not worth it for anyone else in the game, and these are big skips. The Divine, of course, if you just want to pull your Divines and hope for Legendary, that is fine. Well, keep in mind, we did recently get pity changes, which is really, really cool. So if you go to Divines and you look at this, a legendary hero is guaranteed within 20 summons, and you also get a much higher pity timer. If you're close to like 12 on divine summons, usually I would just kind of ignore it and not mention it because it really didn't matter because 2% each shard was really bad. But now that it's buffed and you're guaranteed within 20, you can actually use your divines on a non 2x event, which is crazy because it used to not be the case, where I would never recommend that because they were so mid. But now you can actually do it and it is actually worth it. So keep that in mind, that maybe you won't even want to pull for that. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, we get to the actual amazing banner this week. We originally thought it would be Torodor Glacius, but last second it got changed to Magmus Elowyn. I leaked this banner during the big Apple update delay debacle or whatever, and we weren't sure when we were gonna get it, but it came out of nowhere, and this is an amazing, amazing banner, only because of Elowyn. Elowyn is debatably the most important hero in the game, at least for PvE content, player versus enemy. Stuff like Guild Boss 2, stuff like your Dungeon 1 and 2, stuff like, yeah, it's just like Healer Codex. You could use her in Arbiter Frost. You could use her everywhere. She's good in Arena. She's decent in Guild v Gold. She's good in a lot of areas. She's undeniably, like no doubt in my mind, she is the best. Whoops, she is the best support hero, if not the best healer in the game. There is a case for inspiration heroes like Dolores, of course, but I do think Elowyn is just so important because of the things that she does. So she has so many things in her kit. She's like 5 different healers in one. And I genuinely think the biggest F up Moonton has ever done with designing heroes is making Elowyn exist in the first place. It causes so many issues with content where you essentially need her or you're gonna struggle 10 times more, especially gear dungeons, for example. Guild Boss 2, she's just the best, and she'll never stop being the best for content. So, current content and future content, she's the best healer in the game. She has a heal to 3 different allies at the same time. It's a beefy heal, too. Keep that in mind. She has her ultimate, which has a massive ass range, by the way. Look at this range up here. This is like a vortex range. It can hit so many areas. It's not exactly a vortex range. It's slightly shorter, but it is pretty close. It's only about 1,000 cost, which is pretty good. And then you also get to cleanse everyone who's in the range. And it's a big range. You can have 7 platform units and cleanse them all with Elowyn in Guild Boss 2. It's ridiculous. It's it's so broken. She heals so much. Then she has a mini heal that she gets every 40 seconds. And you can just plop it down anywhere on the ground tile and it heals everyone around it. And it heals a lot. So you can place it around where she is to get extra like double healing, or you could just kind of put it across the map. It's like a global heal. It's ridiculous. you can place it down and sell it, and you get 3 cost back. So she's functionally a cost regen. It's ridiculous. And then her debatably most important skill is Rage Regen. Rage Regen in this game is debatably the most important mechanic, if not inspiration, but then this is very close. He restores 3% rage every 3 seconds when fully skilled. It is ridiculous. This is global, by the way. It hits everywhere. It's one of the best skills in the game, and she's just ridiculously good. And if you go to Awakenings, speaking of, if you are close to A3, you should go for it if you don't care about the other banners that are coming this month. In that case, I would recommend watching my last video. But with that out of the way, the Awakened one, after using her ultimate, reduces damage taken, more attack on A2. A3 is every basic attack, so every time she heals with the basic attack, is a 20% chance to dispel debuffs. This is insanely good. Like, it's actually criminal how good this is, especially for Guild Boss 2. She just cleanses passively. You don't even need to ult with her. It's so good for high scores. It's ridiculous. Rage Regen auto is pretty solid. And then Awaken 5 is every time you ult with her, she gains a Wood Elf. You can just cost regen like crazy in a lot of content. It's so fun in takeovers whenever they have it. She is a must have. After all of that yapping out of the way, if you do not have Elowyn, you have to go for this banner. This month, we have a lot of good banners coming. We have a Hatset Valkyria banner. We have a Lord Phineas, who's new and really good. He's not an actual Lord, that's just the name. And then Magda banner. There's a couple other good ones if you want to go watch my video once again. But Elowyn, I think, is still going to be necessary for people who don't have her. If you do have a copy, I don't really think you need to pull, but like I said, the A3 is nice to have. Now, the dud on this banner is Magmus. The only reason why this is a must pull is because of Elowyn, because Magmus is just trash. He's underrated in the way that he is usable, and people say he's one of the worst Legos. He's not. He's a decent fighter. It's just that's the word that really sucks. He's decent. He's nothing more at all. He has 1 tile range, which is never good. You have to be like a Jira or Kagiri or Twyla level hero for that 1 tile range to really be good. And of course, there aren't many heroes that can match that type of strength. So he just kind of falls flat. All you gotta know is his ult. He makes a big pool. He has a lot of base HP to attack well, and a very high attack. I think he has the 2nd highest attack in the game. And then he has a bunch of skills that don't matter, because all you gotta know is he sucks. You should not want to get him. If you have Elowyn, avoid Magmus at all costs. That's why I'm kind of iffy on telling you guys to go for Awakenings on Elowyn. Not just because of future banners, but because Magmus is so ass, and the epics don't really matter. Now, that brings us to the other banner and the last banner. Most of the yapping out of the way, followed by more yapping. We have Torodor and Pelagios. Now, this is a either really good banner, or it is a big ass bait, and you really have to be careful about what you are planning to do because of it. Okay, so as you guys may know, because everyone's been milking it for content, especially me, you know how it is, you gotta get them views, clickbait. Anyways, there has been a big speculation going on for a long time. We even had fake leaks spread around by a third party, which was kind of interesting, which were obviously fake. And people are rabid for this freaking Northerner fighter, which is going to be the 2nd Ancient exclusive Nightmare Lord. Torodor already is by far, and I mean by far, like it's not that close. He's currently by far the best pullable Lord from blue summons and divines, of course. And I mean, compared to Hars, Laya, Morgan, it's night and day, right? He's just by far the best. Nightmare faction keeps getting good heroes, even if they're all fighters, which sucks, but it's what's happening. And he just gets more value over time. He's amazing in all new content. It's actually just kind of ridiculous. He's the best Lord for Epilogue, one of the best Lords for Guild Boss 2, the Gear Dungeon 2, all of this stuff. The hardest content in the game gets absolutely trivialized from Torodor. So if you don't have Torodor, I would say he's kind of a must pull, But like I said, this Nightmare Lord has been evading us. We don't have any leaks. We don't have any information. Apart from the fact that it is a fighter, and I think it's going to be coming soon. I think this is going to be a big bait banner for the people who don't have Torodor, and people are going to pull for this, and then in the next month or two, I still need to make my banner predictions video, which is not going to be leak based, but that's just going to be predictions. I think they're going to drop him pretty soon, and they're thinking about him. So, like, he's probably going to be dropped for some sort of holiday. And I would say if you're saving for that guy and you don't have Torodor 2, I would personally hold out for that. But the other thing to note is, what if that doesn't happen soon and your account's kind of crippled for a little bit? Saving too much is never really a good idea, because you really got to get those summons off your chest. The main thing to remember, no matter what you choose to do, if you choose to blow your load on Torodor, or save it for the lord that is coming pretty soon, who may even be Ingrid level, we don't know anything about him, or her, you gotta just keep in mind that Torodor will always be very good. He's a good unit, he has stuns, he has damage reduction on his basic attacks, he has an amazing Nightmare Lord skill. Genuinely, hot take, I don't think it'll be possible for the new Nightmare Lord to have a better Lord skill than Torodor. The way I'm kind of seeing it is the Nightmare Fighter will probably have multiple range, and all you're going to do is you're going to put the Nightmare Fighter behind Torodor for stuff like Guild, and he's just going to wreck stuff up, and they're going to be used together. Because this bottom line is one of the best faction skills in the game. Faction team members' basic attack has a 30% chance of landing an extra hit. This gains extra rage because you gain rage on attacks. 30% extra hit, that's like functionally 30% more damage on all Nightmare units. I mean, attack speed is part of the other part of the Lord skill. He's just so good. I don't think he's going to get power crept that much. But you also got to keep in mind that he is not Ancient exclusive. So to blow your load of Ancients on him is not generally a good idea. It's just if he wasn't the only one currently as of this video, and if he wasn't so good, I usually would say no. Like if it was a Morgan or a Laya or something, I would say hell no, skip it. But Torodor is the one exception. And finally, I'll try to make this one a bit quick. Let's get Pelagios out of the way. Pelagios is pretty good. He's one of my favorite Ancient exclusives. I have him A1. He's really fun. He has a lot of true damage. He has Radiant Erosion on his ultimate. This thing is a vortex that sucks in people. Really solid for Guild v Guild, and can be used in Arena, and especially Pelagios Codex, because he's the best source of damage on the boss. That's kind of where it ends though. He has like a lot of true damage. Right here, if there's more than 5 enemy in range, he has a chance to do an AoE type thing. You know, there's a chance to make a vortex right here. You get the idea, right? He's pretty solid. His A1 is really good, and his A5 is really good. His A3 is not bad at all. He's pretty good. It's just the issue with him is there are better ancients out there. You know, he's not a Carnelian. He's not an Ardea. He's not anything like that. But he is still a very good unit, and I really love using him. I used him on my 321 clear, sorry. And he was so fun to use there too. He was not very good, because obviously different type of damage, but you know, he was very fun. He's a great unit. I would say this is A tier banner, maybe. And then this one over here is like an S-, purely carried by Elowyn. It's obviously up to you guys. I'm just here to kind of help you guys make a decision and do my best to educate where I can and provide my opinions as a content creator. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That's it from me, and Destined signing out. Good luck falling.